you got to know where you're going. Everybody has a responsibility on the defense. Yeah, you got to fit your gap. Not necessarily are you going to make every play out there, but you got to be in a position to help somebody else make a play.
Is that really the focus? Will just be in the gap?
Yeah. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know where your help is. And if we're all on the same page, then you get a lot of production out of your defense.
I remember just from the last few years, there have been games where the tackling was an issue, and coach would talk about that, and then the next game it would be corrected. From your standpoint, is tackling like is it a mindset? Explain that. How do you get better at that from week to week?
There's definitely a technique to it.
Yeah.
Taking the right angle on tackle and being in the right spot also. If you know where you're supposed to be, that sets you up for making an easier tackle than being a few steps behind and having to recover to make that tackle.
What strikes you about, you were asking me about Wiseman and the running game in general, but what is it, their line? I mean, what strikes you as, I guess, the most imposing part of that?
They have a very physical and big line. They're also fast. You can tell that they're well coached. Wiseman's a north and south runner.
Mm-hmm.
Likes to get downhill, likes to lower his pads. So it'll be a very good matchup for us.
What does Jake Rudock bring to the table as their quarterback?
He actually has a fair amount of speed. You notice that on his boot passes. He can get out on the edge, and he can throw it, and he can run it.
You take me back to your recruiting process. I guess Ben Barkham was the guy recruiting you. Now that they talk about linebacker right away, I know they were talking about safety, but how did that, I guess, transformation go?
It started out recruiting me as a quarterback my junior year, and then you kind of see the writing on the walls. They gave me the option if I wanted to stay at quarterback, but I knew my best bet to get on the field would be at defense.
Okay.
Started at safety for a little bit once I got here, and Coach Rhodes pulled me into his office one day, said they have a need at linebacker, asked me if I'd be willing to make that switch. I said, whatever will help the team.
Was that an easy transition? Was it a hard transition? Obviously, you're bulking up in the process, but the mentality seems to have been there, nose for football, that kind of thing.
It's a little bit different just because at safety you don't have to worry about run gaps as much. You still have to worry about them, but every play you got to be able to play the pass and the run. So that was probably my biggest challenge, was knowing exactly where to fit on plays and getting to where I needed to be.
Did you get the